Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Real News Extra. My name is Fred. I'm the operations manager here at Relaw APC. And joining me today is Jennifer Felten, the principal and founder of Relaw APC. So Jennifer, I'd like to talk about one of our practice areas. It's called regulatory court. If you could, what is regulatory court?
Yeah, so when people think of court, they either think of, law and order and our criminal justice system, or LA law, which is our civil justice system. Right. And there's multiple layers of our justice system: family law, probate, right? Layers and layers. Well, regulatory court isn't any of those.
Right.
Regulatory court is administrative law,
okay,
right? Versus criminal or civil. Regulatory deals with people with licenses. So, for example, you have an insurance license.
Yes.
The regulator for insurance in California is the Department of Insurance.
Yes.
So if they get mad at you, they're going to go after you in regulatory court.
Yes.
Same thing, I'm an attorney. My regulatory body is the state bar. If they get mad at me, they're going to file an accusation and go after me, and we will end up in regulatory court. So that's regulatory court.
Got it. So what if you are a professional and you do have an actual accusation levied against you by the regulatory? What are some steps you could take to address that?
Stop whatever you're doing.
Yes. Step one, stop.
Read what they are accusing you of and figure out how you're going to respond and manage the situation, because our professional licenses are almost always tied to our livelihood.
Yeah.
Right? So if your license is at risk, your livelihood is at risk. And so you need to figure out what they think you did, try and figure out if you can resolve it, manage it, address it, explain it, right? The biggest thing is this has to be addressed. There are very strict timelines when it comes to regulatory court of your opportunity to respond. So there's a concept called due process,
yes,
right? So we hear all these legal terms. Due process is your right before someone can the government can take something away, right? Before they can take your license, they have to give you the opportunity to defend yourself. So that due process is you get to file what's called a notice of defense. And so you have a certain amount of time. If you go beyond that time, you've lost your right, and they can do what they're threatening to do.
Serious.
So time is the biggest thing. As soon as you get that, you need to get going on responding and managing that situation, because if you blow those timelines, you're in big trouble.
So don't ignore it, because it's not going to go away.
It is not going. This is not a head in the sand moment.
Right. So how critical is legal advice in helping to navigate such an accusation?
I would encourage anyone and everyone getting an accusation to get an attorney, right? This is your professional future. And not only does it affect whatever license you have, it can affect all kinds of areas of your life. You look at a job application, it says, have you ever had a license revoked? Right? I happen to have multiple licenses. I'm licensed as a notary, I'm licensed as an attorney, and I'm licensed as a real estate broker. If one of those regulators goes after me, the other two could revoke my license as well. So it can have these ripple effects,
right,
well beyond just that one little thing, right? So getting help, getting good legal support, an attorney who's been to regulatory court before, understands the process, knows how to deal with the regulator, right, can negotiate, it's going to be super important.
Well, thank you. And thank you for joining us on this episode of the Real News Extra. If you're enjoying this content, I invite you to click on like or subscribe, and to click that little bell for future notifications. My name is Fred. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.